Welcome to What's the Scenario with PLRB, where we explore claims and coverage scenarios relevant to insurance professionals. I'm Alicia Watley.
No, I'm Alicia Watley. No, I'm Mike Broad.
You don't want to be Alicia Watley.
Maybe.
I'm Tim Havler.
And I'm Andrew Lucius, AVP of Weather and Catastrophe Services at PLRB.
Yay, Andrew came back again. Yay.
Glad to be here.
Well, Andrew, I get to ask you this question. You ready?
Yep.
Andrew, what's the scenario?
Yay.
A cat manager is making preparations for her cat team in advance of a tropical storm approaching the United States. So our cat manager logs onto plrb.org and heads over to the weather section for some guidance. She reads something about spaghetti models and something about fast-track cyclones. Then, on the other hand, an adjuster is responsible for handling storm claims in Louisiana, and they've had a busy week. One insured reports wind damage in Houma, another reports water damage in New Orleans, and out in Mamu, there's a report of hail claims. It all comes down to Tropical Storm Francine, which approached the Louisiana coast in the second week of September 2024.
Uh-huh.
Why are we talking about pasta?
Yeah. Spaghetti makes me hungry. So, anybody have any good pasta recipes? I like peppers, Italian sausage and peppers with a little marinara sauce.
I like
Chef's
Alfredo
kiss.
sauce.
Alfredo?
Alfredo's good, but I
just said Alfredo. I didn't make any judgment upon it.
I don't know. It sounded like judgment on me. I am partial to pesto. I don't eat a lot of tomatoes, so I prefer, a nice little pesto sauce with a penne, maybe some chicken, maybe some salmon.
Drizzled in olive oil?
Yes, of
Is
course.
Penny the bow ties?
No, that's the round ones with the ridges, and it's kind of angled on either side.
Oh, the normal mastacholi.
It looks like mastacholi. Why there are two different names for a pasta that looks very similar? I don't know.
And very different names, too.
Oh, wait, we're getting off track. Sorry.
Well, what about Andrew? Andrew, any favorite pasta?
I like Italian meatballs. Hold the spaghetti. You got to watch it with your hard. No, but I like any type of lemon garlic pasta dish, chicken, shrimp, anything like that.
All right. Well, now we're all hungry. Last time we were talking about beer. Now we're having pasta. This is awesome. I'm loving these two.
All right. So what's been going on with Tropical Storm Francine?
Francine?
Francine. Yeah. Is it even a tropical storm anymore at this point?
Well, Francine moved on last week and has dissipated. Francine became a Category 2 hurricane. It actually made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane with estimated sustained winds of approximately 100 miles per hour in southern Louisiana. And then it weakened rapidly after landfall. And by the time it reached Lake Pontchartrain, it was a tropical storm that's in Louisiana. Then it weakened to tropical depression status as it traveled north through Mississippi. And the storm caused about 360,000 customer power outages in Louisiana. Some peak wind gusts recorded were 90 miles per hour in Duac, 93 miles per hour in Cocodrie, and then 79 miles per hour at New Orleans International Airport.
New Orleans has some interesting city and town names. I've never heard of any of these.
Oh, Pontchartrain. I know.
Yeah, I had to learn how to pronounce a few of those for this.
Well,
French Creole.
Yeah, sometimes you have to put that French spin on it, kind of like when you're talking about Baton Rouge.
Oof.
That was good.
Thank you. Well, when your dad's from Louisiana, it helps. So, all right. So, how did that situation change from what we first heard about to what it is today?
Sounds like Francine got depressed. That's what I heard.
She was depressed because she was causing damage.
Right.
Yeah, great question. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen now that I grabbed and share some screenshots that I grabbed earlier from the storm, the storm's life. So,
Whoa.
Can you see my screen there?
Yes.
Oh, great. And then this video is also available on YouTube. I'll try and do my best to describe what we're looking at for the audio listeners. So this is the forecast track and error cone associated with Francine, generated with the National Hurricane Center's Advisory Number 1 on Sunday, September 8th. And then we can see Francine was forecast to make landfall at approximately a Category 1 hurricane strength with winds around 75 miles per hour along the Louisiana-Texas border. And then the air cone includes the eastern Texas coast and much of the Louisiana coast. So we'll go to the next screenshot here. Then I was able to grab a screenshot of the spaghetti models on Monday, September 9th. Most of the spaghetti models show the tracks trending towards a landfall along the western side of the Louisiana coast, but we do see one model tracking towards more of a central coast landfall. And then sticking on Monday, September 9th, took a screenshot of the peak storm surge forecast. So here we see along the central Louisiana coast, there's a forecast of about 5 to 10 feet of storm surge. Over to the west, about 3 to 5 feet. Then over to the east, around Batavia Bay, 4 to 7 feet. And then Lake Pontchartrain on the east coast of Louisiana, storm surge forecast of around 2 to 4 feet. And then we'll move on to Tuesday, September 10th. And as we can see, most of the spaghetti models now have shifted to the east, trending towards a central Louisiana coast landfall, although one is still trending towards the western coast there. So perhaps that one model we saw from Monday was more accurate in its prediction compared to the others. And then finally, we'll look at the National Hurricane Center best track for Francine. It's called the best track, not the fast track. Perhaps that cat manager misread things. But the best track includes the line, point data, and cumulative wind history, which shows which areas potentially affected by hurricane force sustained winds, which are 74 miles per hour or greater, as well as tropical storm force winds, which are 39 miles per hour or greater. And then the best track here displays a landfall along the southern Louisiana coast, kind of central Louisiana near Terrebonne Parish. And then just for fun, I have a couple more spaghetti model screenshots. These are from September 13th and are associated with Tropical Storm Gordon. And all this data is available on our current weather and forecast web app, by the way, interactive map.
Andrew, can I interrupt you for a second? The spaghetti models, very visually striking, but what exactly are we looking at here?
Right.
That was my question, because I see why it's called spaghetti model, but what is it?
And it looks more like linguine to me than spaghetti.
It's tricolored, okay?
Yeah, so spaghetti models are a forecasting tool based on computer models that help gives a visual of possible tracks. Each track represents a different forecast model of a storm's expected path. And so models that are close together would indicate higher than normal confidence in the track, while widespread in the tracks may indicate a forecast that's more uncertain. And then at PLRB, we take the raw tabular data of the models from the National Hurricane Center, and then we run it through a script to create these spaghetti model plots that you see here. These are available on our current weather interactive map, and the models are also available as map services through our API if you'd like to bring those into your own GIS application.
So you said the more concentrated they are, that's the actual path. But once it starts to veer off, is that using a predictive model to see where it would go?
Yeah, so some weather models are built on different things, statistics, some on atmospheric dynamics. But so in this case, as we look at Tropical Storm Gordon, most of the models are predicting a weather western track, and then some models are also predicting a northeastern hook. So we're looking at the official track right here, along with the error cone from the National Hurricane Center. And as we look at this error cone over here to the west, it's kind of just like a circle blob. That would indicate a little bit of uncertainty as you get over to Wednesday as of this screenshot. And then we'll go ahead and take a look on Monday, so 3 days later. So now we can see that the models are in good cohesion. They're all kind of lining up to a northeastern hook. You can also see that the official track is predicting a northeastern hook as well, and it's all confined within the National Hurricane Center error cone. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen now.
So now we know spaghetti model. More than just pasta.
Right.
I was going to say angel hair.
I
Ooh,
was thinking that too. It's not. We should call it tricolored angel hair.
there you go.
That's our internal. That's what we're going to call it internally.
But Andrew, riddle me this one. You talked about something called storm surge.
Right. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Uh-huh. Storm surge is the rise in seawater caused solely by a storm, and then the surge is caused primarily by a storm's winds pushing the water on shore. I think a simple way to visualize storm surge is if you're, let's say, having some soup before you have your pasta dish. You can scoop a spoonful of soup, and as you blow on the soup in the spoon will shift and spill over the edge of the spoon. So it's kind of similar to what would happen with a storm surge as the wind pushes the water on shore.
Got it. Other than I
Yeah.
don't use spoons. Yeah, I
Oh
just
no.
lift the bowl up to my face.
Oh yeah, that's the
It's
way
kind
to
of
go.
that's the way I go. Yeah.
I'm a cup of soup kind of girl.
Aha.
So what is best track data?
Yeah, so the tropical cyclone best track, it's a living database which serves as the official U.S. National Weather Service historical record of the tropical cyclone. The best track line is a representation of the tropical cyclone's location and intensity at 6-hour intervals over its lifetime. And then the best track wind swath or wind bands or wind polygons, they show the size of how the storm has changed and the areas potentially affected by the maximum sustained winds of tropical storm force and hurricane force from the tropical cyclone. And then we've at PLRB have archived all of the best track geospatial data that is available from the National Hurricane Center. The data goes back to 2008, and then we also archive current storms best track data like Francine, and these are also available via our API.
So, what kind of insurance professional would be helped by this kind of data?
Well, a catastrophe manager can use the spaghetti models as well as the official forecast track, air cone, and storm surge forecasts to help them determine resource allocation, like where to send their CAT response teams, how many team members to send, how many claims they can expect to see. Regarding the best track data, one of our members is actually using the data to develop an analysis tool that will analyze insurance claim ratios and wind bands for past storms so that it can be applied to incoming storms that are similar. And then claims adjuster could use the best track data to assist them with claims decisions that could be used in conjunction with the high wind damage reports, flood reports, and tornado reports that we archive. And then finally, an underwriter could use the best track data, since we have a database going back to 2008 that includes hundreds of storms and several dozen storms that have made landfall. The data could be used in risk assessment.
I get to ask Andrew one last question.
What?
Which is, Andrew, what can we take away from this scenario?
Aha.
Yeah, good question. Well, spaghetti models can be very useful in forecasting where a storm can lead. However, they don't show where impacts will occur. And then at PLRB, we have a script that checks for new spaghetti model table data from the National Hurricane Center hourly and updates the model plots as the updates come in. And this is available for all PLRB members. And then the tropical cyclone best track that serves as the official National Weather Service historical record of the tropical cyclone. When you combine this data with all of the weather CAT data we archive, like local storm reports, weather observation station data, precipitation data, it can give an adjuster a good idea of what areas were impacted by a tropical storm or hurricane. And then also just circling back to the scenario where they mentioned hail. Well, hail can occur in hurricanes and tropical storms, but it rarely reaches the surface. That's because the very strong winds will blow the hail horizontally as it falls, giving it more time to melt since it's not falling straight down. And then also the updraft in a hurricane is not as intense as that associated with a supercell thunderstorm. And hail requires a very strong updraft. There were not any hail reports associated with Francine in Louisiana and Mississippi. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, great. And Mike, where can an adjuster go to learn more?
I don't know. They can talk to Andrew. No, of course, you go to PLRB.org and you check out Weather Cat, and you can certainly ask Andrew a question. There's an opportunity there. But I think there you would find all sorts of cool stuff, not only on Francine still out there, but any storm that's coming down the road potentially as well will be tracked. You want to find out more about spaghetti models? I do. Check out PLRB.org. What about your best track data? It's there too. All at your fingertips at PLRB.org. Oh, Alicia, will you share those again in the notes?
I guess.
Yay.
And I guess while I'm there, I can also put a recap of the key points from today's episode. And I guess we can do some links to our social media page.
Yay.
And we'll also have information on how you can submit your own adjuster story.
Right.
So don't forget to subscribe, number one, to wherever you listen to podcasts, and give us a great rating. We want to see 5 stars because we do this for you guys.
We work hard for the money.
Okay, sorry. So give us a thumbs up, 5 stars, however you rate. We want to see it, and we'll see all of you next time.
Yay, and hopefully Andrew comes back again too. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Thanks, Andrew. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
The views and opinions expressed in this resource are those of the individual speaker and not necessarily those of the Property and Liability Resource Bureau, its membership, or any organization with which the presenter is employed or affiliated. The information, ideas, and opinions are presented as information only and not as legal advice or offers of representation. Individual policy language and state laws vary, and listeners should rely on guidance from their companies and counsel as appropriate.